Imagine a beautiful garden in the middle of a busy city. The flowers there are full of bright colors, but the noise from all the cars and buses makes it hard to enjoy their lovely scent and appearance. Now, picture a smart gardener who decides to spend the whole day in silence. He turns off the noisy machines, the hammering, and the talking, and in the middle of all the loudness, a really deep quietness takes over. As he takes care of the plants, this silence becomes his friend. He watches every leaf and every petal, and he listens to the soft sounds of nature. In this quietness, he discovers a very special way of communicating. The plants almost seem to answer him, and he sees things he never noticed before. He's like a patient watcher, and the connection he makes with the garden is even stronger than words can express. Number 1. The quieter you are, the more you will hear. This gardener reminds us that amidst the chaos of life, it's in silence that we find the most subtle answers. He teaches us that true communication doesn't solely reside in words, but in the spaces between them. Just as the garden flourishes when touched by silence, our minds can bloom when we step away from the constant noise. By being quiet, we set aside all words and open ourselves to other voices that were previously drowned out by constant verbal noise. We can effectively listen if we remain in silence, both within and without, tuning into our surroundings and paying attention to what our senses observe. The moral is that silence isn't just the absence of sound, but a language of its own, capable of conveying profound meanings that words cannot capture. In a world of constant distractions, silence invites us to listen more deeply, to create, to find peace, and to reconnect with what truly matters. Through this, we learn and eventually become smarter and wiser. If we refuse to remain silent, we merely share what we already know and learn nothing. Socrates wrote, "Wisdom begins in deep reflection and inner silence." Similarly, Anne Frank, one of the most discussed Jewish victims of the Holocaust, tells us, "In silence, my truest words come to life, and I find the strength to face the world." These voices help us learn about our environment, recognize dangers, and seize opportunities we might have overlooked if we were busy talking. Furthermore, it allows us to gather information about ourselves. Often, we are so occupied with thinking and analyzing that we block the inner voices trying to convey a message to us. Staying silent can also lead to greater philosophical and spiritual understanding. In general, people tend to identify with their thoughts, and therefore believe that we are what we think, that we are aggregates, fabrications of the mind, confusing ourselves with our thoughts. According to Buddha, we are not our thoughts. If we silence ourselves and observe our thoughts, we will discover that all our ideas, concepts, and identifications are fleeting. Thus, according to Buddha, a fixed self in reality doesn't exist. We uncover the illusory nature of thoughts. Only by staying silent do we observe them and recognize them for what they are. Number 2. Silence promotes self-discipline and self-mastery. A Holocaust survivor and renowned psychologist, Viktor Frankl, wrote about his experience in Nazi concentration camps. He observed that even in inhumane conditions, prisoners often found strength in inner silence. Silence allowed them to create a space of self-control and self-sufficiency, where they could maintain their mental sanity and find meaning amid chaos. Meditation programs in prisons have shown that prisoners who embraced meditation reported improved self-control, reduced stress, and the ability to respond more constructively to challenging situations, as it requires control over the impulse to speak. The ability to remain silent, especially in emotional or challenging situations, demonstrates emotional maturity and self-control. It also allows for a pause to reflect before responding, avoiding conflicts and carefully choosing words. Mahatma Gandhi, during his nonviolent resistance movements in colonial India, often practiced fasting and silence as forms of protest. He used silence to demonstrate his determination and self-control in the face of oppression. showing that even without words, his actions spoke loudly. The lawyer, rebel leader, and president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, during his years of imprisonment, used silence as a tool to maintain his dignity and resist oppression. He spent decades in prison, enduring isolation and cruel treatment, but his resilient attitude and his ability to remain steadfast amid silence were crucial to his eventual release and leadership in the fight against apartheid. Silence helps develop the ability to manage impulsive reactions, favoring healthier interpersonal relationships and more effective communication. Number 3. Silence can send a powerful message. In various scenarios, the act of withholding silence possesses a communicative power that transcends words. By responding with silence and employing timely pauses during conversations, we can effectively express ourselves without the need for speaking or writing. An iconic example of Dutch silent rituals illustrates how silence holds the power to communicate effectively. It allows us to convey what words cannot. The words spoken, the ideas shared, and even the promises made often fall short of fully encapsulating the complexity of the human experience. The uniqueness of silence as a response to tragedy lies in the acknowledgement that no amount of words can fully translate what we seek to express. There is profound meaning in the act of pausing, of staying silent, as a way of celebrating and honoring something or someone. This gesture uniquely conveys respect, surpassing the limitations of words. The strategic use of silence also carries inherent power. American author Mark Twain once stated that while choosing words is important, a well-placed pause can be even more effective. Academic studies demonstrate that during a conversation, silence starts to become uncomfortable after just 2 seconds. Mastering the use of pauses in communication can be a powerful tool for achieving our goals. The uncertainty that silence creates in a conversation often prompts discomfort in people, leading to questions like, did I say something wrong? Or does this person not like me? This discomfort often drives those on the other end to make a decision, attempting to dispel the uncertain void that silence creates in communication. This can be advantageous for the person choosing the right moment to remain silent. Additionally, there is the advantage that, in certain situations, silence is a safer alternative than speaking. There are moments when expressing an opinion might weaken our position, and in such cases, wisdom lies in listening. This stance not only provides us with an opportunity to learn, but also spares us from appearing inadequate by trying to seem knowledgeable about something we actually have limited knowledge of. Opting for silence reveals genuine interest and willingness to listen, something that many people value. Seneca, the Roman writer, once said, "Often I regretted having spoken, never that I remained silent." This insight underscores the importance of discernment in choosing when to speak, and when to let silence speak for itself. Number 4. Silence enhances well-being. Silence is a true balm in a deafening world, and it minds constantly in turmoil. Throughout history, numerous stories and experiences have testified to how silence can be the key to calming internal storms. Research findings reinforce that silence not only offers relief to the mind, but also improves sleep and reduces instances of insomnia. A recent study even pointed out that just 2 minutes of silence have a more soothing effect than relaxing music. The intriguing reality is that constant exposure to environmental noise can cause harm. Our stress hormone levels can be triggered by the incessant avalanche of sound that surrounds us, impairing our mental and physical health. Someone once highlighted how we make a grave mistake by underestimating the negative impact of noise. A valuable lesson, given the increasing presence of noisy machines in our modern lives. Amid this chaos, it's remarkable how moments of silence transform into oases of tranquility. They provide us with an escape from the daily barrage of information bombarding us. These moments of stillness possess an almost magical power. Whether in serene meditation, losing oneself in contemplation of an isolated landscape, or simply during a closed-eye break in a dark room, this space revitalizes us. Silence, despite its simplicity and serenity, possesses astonishing power. And the most incredible part is that we all understand this language, even if we cannot define it in words. It's like a shared secret, mysterious yet filled with clarity, comfort, and density. Best of all, it is accessible to all of us. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. What are your thoughts on the power of silence? Please share your opinion. 𝐲𝐈 would be thrilled to read your comment. If you are new here, consider subscribing and becoming a part of our community. See you soon.